Hi folks, this is Richard Rodriguez from $1 Million Mindset. Have you ever wondered why your videos aren't featured up as high in the YouTube algorithm as you would like them? Well, stay tuned. I'm going to give you 10 hacks to help you figure out how to get it up there. Welcome back, guys. First and foremost, I want to give you a disclaimer. I've seen lots of videos that are real popular, they have lots of subscribers on that channel, and they have lots of views, and they do really well, who do not adhere to this at all. But what I'm telling you is, if you do adhere to this, there's a better chance that you will rank higher up, or at least grow faster on your channel within YouTube's algorithm. A lot of people here in 2019 do not adhere to that, but they are already big, they have already grown large, they have a huge subscriber base. So these are 10 hacks that will help you grow faster, or hopefully help you grow faster. I'm adhering to these. I've actually watched a few videos from a few different very successful people like Liam James Kay. He actually spoke about this, and exactly what I'm telling you is what I learned from him. Okay, first and foremost, when a person makes a YouTube video, whether it be down in the description or down in the comment section, do not put links to drive traffic away from YouTube. YouTube doesn't like that. YouTube makes their revenue not from giving you free space to post your videos. That's not how they make revenue. They make revenue by getting people attracted to YouTube so they can watch videos, whether it be your video or somebody else's popular video, and they want to show you the commercials that run during that video, or ads, if you will. They make money through that. And sometimes it's a 5-second spot, and then you click next and you jump past that video. Sometimes you have to watch it for 10 or 15 seconds or even 30 seconds. That's how they make their money. So if you drive people away and send them off to StarWars.com or some other video, which is a pretty neat video, but if you send them to that, they're not going to make ad revenue. So that's number one. Number two is community engagement. If I make a video, generally at the end of my video, I'm going to ask a question, or somewhere in the video I'm going to ask a question, and I usually post the questions in my comment section. I will say something like, what kind of digital SLR camera do you use? Or do you even use one? And then I'll say something like, my preferred brand is Canon. What is your preferred brand? And then that's 3 questions. I just asked you 3 community engaging questions, and you're going to answer it. You'll say something like, well, I use a Logitech camera, or I use a Nikon camera. That community engagement is showing that there are people not just watching it or playing a video in the background, they're actually engaged and they're looking at the screen, which is making them look at the ads, and YouTube algorithm likes that. So that's number 2. Number 3 refers to best practices. There's several different parts. Let me go ahead and show you up here on the screen. Number 1 is high-res thumbnails. Do you have a high-res thumbnail? Generally, when I make a thumbnail, I try to make my thumbnail at least 1920 by 1080 is what I usually try to make my thumbnails. So I try to make sure they're high-res, and make sure that the font that you use is easily contrasting to the background, so it's easily read even on a small cell phone or a small tablet. You can still see what it says and you can make it out clearly. It has to be appealing to the people, but it has to be a high resolution thumbnail. If it's a low resolution thumbnail, it's not going to get one of these tick marks. Number 4 is an info card. This is an example of an info card. You want something like that. What that does is it says that I am trying to tell you about another video, whether it be on my channel or on someone else's channel. But this is another video which is also going to keep you on the YouTube platform and keep you engaged in watching their ads. So that's number 4. Number 5, is it shared on Twitter? Meaning, do you have a link back to your video or your channel on Twitter? So do you have a link back to your channel on Twitter? What I generally do, if I am not using IFTTT, and I'll talk to you about that in another video, but if I'm not using that, what I'll do is I'll actually click on my video as if I'm going to watch it as a first-time viewer or multiple-time viewer. I'm going to watch it, I click the link, I highlight it, I copy it, I go over to my Twitter page, which is the same page that represents my channel, and then I paste it on there. So now it's linked. So when somebody says, hey, well, I'm curious, what is this? They click on the link, it drives them over to my channel so they can watch my video. So that's going to be number 5. Number 6, is it liked on Facebook? So do you have a link, just like with Twitter, on Facebook, so they could drive traffic from your Facebook page back to YouTube? And is it liked? Did somebody give that a thumbs up? Whether it be you who gave it a thumbs up or somebody who watched the link with a small description gave it a thumbs up. Is it liked? Because it wants to be liked. And that's going to be number 6. Number 7, are there closed captions available? Did you activate closed captions? Whichever language you speak in or your video is in, you need to go in there and tell it that's the language that you want closed captions to be available in. So if you're obviously using English, like I'm speaking English right now, you want to go in there and tell it English closed captions. Whether you put the closed captions in yourself or YouTube puts them in for you, put them in whatever language your video is in or multiple different languages available. That way YouTube will recognize that in the algorithm. So that's your next one. Number 8, has a comment been pinned? Whether it be your comment asking the question, which is how I usually do it, or the first comment or the most interesting comment that somebody else dropped. Did you pin that comment? And I kind of give you an idea up here what it looks like to have it pinned, right? So was there a comment that was pinned? The way you pin it is directly across from the comment is a little section that's going to have 3 dots on it. So click on those 3 dots, click on that, and it'll ask you if you want to pin it, if you want to edit it, or whatever the case may be. Obviously you want to pin it. So that's going to be number 8. Number 9, is it hearted? Basically it's going to look like that. Is it hearted? Did somebody like it? And that's, I guess, YouTube's way of saying liked it, right? Is it hearted? Is it loved? Did somebody put a little heart on it? Whether it be someone who visited your channel hearted your comment or you hearted somebody else's comment. Is it hearted? That's the last thing underneath the best practices that it's going to look for. Did you put a heart on it? So if you can get all of those check marks on best practices, you got that extra step done. Number 10, which I like the best, so I saved it for last, are going to be links to other videos, whether it be videos on your channel or videos on somebody else's channel. As long as they keep you inside of YouTube, inside of their platform, this is what they're looking for. So that would be number 10. Now remember back on number 1 when I told you don't put links to drive people away from the YouTube platform, because that's kind of a big no-no. A lot of people do that. Almost all of the videos that I see, people do that. And a lot of the videos that I've been watching are people that I'm learning from. They're already big and they're successful. And this is what they've already done. They've already started putting links to other things, whether it be stuff that they're promoting or their own sites, which is great. But this is kind of how I do it. If you notice how I would do it, that I think that's the best practices. But let me show you a bad example. Now I've crossed out a lot of stuff here. A lot of stuff's been redacted because I don't want to show their site and I don't want to offend anybody. But this kind of gives you an example. Now if you look at this, you're going to see every single thing that I've redacted and I've circled with red is a link to an off-site video or web page. That kind of gives you an idea of how many sites that they are trying to pull you to away from the YouTube platform. That's a big no-no as far as the algorithm is concerned, at least the algorithm in 2019. Now again, this is how I do it. That is going to work within the algorithm. That's not going to make the algorithm upset at you. So if you put it inside of your video as opposed to inside of the comment section where it could read your URL, or inside of the description where it could read your URL, it's not going to know it's there unless somebody actually sits and watches your video who is in charge of this from YouTube, right? So put your links inside of the video or actually say them out loud. www. Whatever the case may be. Or you could private message somebody. You can ask a question, which is also part of community engagement, right? Say, if you want this link, private message me, and this is my link to the private message or whatever the case may be, and I will give you that link. You can say something like that, which is kind of forcing community engagement, which is what you want to do which is going to lead you to the awesomeness of the algorithm, right? So remember, these are just a few tips that I wanted to pass on to you that I have learned to help my channel grow. Whether you're having a channel on reviewing vehicles, do-it-yourself tips and tricks, how to build computers, whatever the case may be, if you start off at the bottom like me and you want to go up, it's best to adhere to everything that YouTube algorithm wants. Now, of course, that's no substitution for content, maybe the person's personality, maybe the backdrop, maybe the lighting. All of these things are factors. But if you adhere to the YouTube algorithm, you can't go wrong. So until next time, remember, do you have that $1 million mindset?